Hello friends, and welcome back to the series of Web Automation with Selenium. In last video, we saw what is web automation and how Selenium can help. In this video, we are going to configure our environment to utilize that framework. So let's get started. Before I even wrote a single chunk of code, I wanted to talk about the prerequisites of this video. These are not the hard prerequisites, but knowing them will definitely take you a longer way. So first of them is understanding HTML. So let me open my browser. So here you can learn HTML on W3 Schools. This is one of the resources I learned, but you're not limited to this. You can actually browse YouTube and learn them interactively. Second of it is understanding the DOM. So you see things like query selector all, select by ID. Where's that? Get element by ID. So these are the things which you will be using in the Selenium course. So why not get aware of it beforehand? Specifically, why what I have found is you should be knowing how HTML is structured, what attributes are in HTML, basic CSS, and how to manipulate all of those in JavaScript, HTML as well as CSS. So the very first thing we are going to need is a web browser because we are going to automate a browser. So in my case, I have a browser called Brave, and it is very similar to Google Chrome, and it is actually based on that. So that is the very first, or I will say zeroth requirement. Next up is Python, because we are actually going to use Python as we discussed in our last video. So if you are on system other than Mac or Linux, you need to download it separately. But I am actually using Linux and I have version 3.10, I guess. So I think that is sufficient. Next up is a code editor. So what I normally use is a VS Code. Yeah, so I have opened up this directory here. But if you don't have it, you might want to install it. So this is the page where you can get it for pretty much every operating system, popular operating systems. I already have it installed on my Ubuntu. So this is the third requirement. But before we proceed to set up our directory structure, there is one last thing we have to do. So we have a browser, but what Selenium requires is a webdriver, some kind of webdriver. So what I'm gonna search is Chrome. So if you are using a different browser, definitely you need a different webdriver. So there are different versions of Chromium driver for different browsers. So actually I need to check which version I'm using. This is version this on Chromium 120. So I might be looking for 120. Actually it says if I want 115 or newer, I need to click this link. And yeah, I'll go for this one. And this one. I'm gonna unzip the zip folder. Yeah, and here we have the executable. This is needed. So I'm gonna put it somewhere in my path. Yeah, that's done. I think it's installed. Let's check. Yeah, it's stalled. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and remove everything from here. And the next thing is, let's work on our directory structure. So first I'm going to create a virtual environment. Then I'm going to activate it. So this first dot is equivalent to source command on bash. So it has activated the virtual environment, and then I'm going to install Selenium. So I have Selenium installed in this virtual environment, and I'm gonna create my first script. What I have here is a very simple script. What I'm doing is initializing the Chrome driver and going through some of most popular website one by one and waiting them there for 3 minutes each. Then we are closing the browser. So let's see how it goes. It is gonna fire up a browser. It is actually an isolated browser, like it doesn't have your history from your normal sessions. And here it will proceed to Pinterest, then to the third website. So going through different location is one of the things you can do with Selenium, and in upcoming videos we will see how we are gonna use the API to do all the things we can do, like clicking, searching and whatnot. If you are still watching this video, it must be because this video has added some value to your life. And if that is the case, you can help me grow this channel by hitting the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel. If you have any doubts, you can ask that in comments. In next video, we are going to see some interesting Selenium commands, like what we use to travel to another URL, the get command, which we are seeing here. There are many like that. These commands can be used for automation, that's what we are doing, or for the testing. So that's it. Thank you and see you in the next video.